Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda here, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on a Faymonville Approach in the north. It is VonAsten, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, here with a Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. 9th Panzergrenadier Company here with Blitzkrieg, Lightning War, and Jäger Infantry in the south. It is Angreifen, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Taking on the role here of the 5th Armored Division Baker Company. Here with Rifle Company, featuring the EC-8, Rifle Defensive Structures, in Advanced Infantry Equipment, which most of the time just means flamethrowers, M3 half-tracks, and the White Phosphorus Smoke Barrage, versus Blitzkrieg, Lightning War, and Jäger Infantry from VonAsten with a double Grenadier start, no MD-42s, double rifle start there for Angreifen, obviously also no MD-42s because he can't build them. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons supporters. Without them and their valuable support, the Propagandacast would not be able to keep doing what it does, so hearty thanks to all those. Other people can follow the heroic example, pledge on Patreon or donate via PayPal, links are in the video description. And if you're in the market for pre-ordering company stream, do so that link in the comments. Use the CoH2 3G as it is written there, and I get a nice little commission on the sale. So, great way to get both the game and support me. And I'll also comment, like, share, subscribe, talk about the video of the game. So, first shots fired here as Angreifen's forces here have moved in to secure the center here from the Krauts and block the Nazi advance. As VonAsten here, though, of course, is not be deterred here by the Americans with their puny rifles. And pushing him, but there you go, Angreifen pulled off, sneaking one in VonAsten. He baited him out in the open cover there, allowing his Grenadiers, or Riflemen to get closer to that set, though didn't quite pan out the way Angreifen hoped. The Grenadiers focused on Riflemen, causing heavy damage. And so Angreifen's trap springs right back into his face, giving him quite some nasty marks there. Nice work there by VonAsten in the south. The rifle coming up north side has not been secured by anyone, and so Angreifen here definitely suffers a bit of double whammy because not only just get pushed off here, he also just failed to secure the north. So this is off to a fairly strong start here for VonAsten and the German army, following up with a sniper, a Scharfschütze. Note, the average German Panzer Division did not have snipers attached to them. Not really kind of sort of fighting there, but they could still, you know, depending on the situation, find them attached as snipers, besides being organic parts of infantry divisions, but also, shall we say, more core level assets that could be attached wherever needed. Fun fact. Then his rifle squad here, quickly down to just one man there. Angreifen's northern attempt here, quickly thwarted here by VonAsten, who follows up with a 3rd Grenadier squad. Angreifen here with more riflemen, going for a fairly rare full rifle build. Most players simply tend to go for either 2 riflemen into a fast officer or 3 riflemen into the officer, but 4 rifle squads is actually like fairly rare here to see from an American player. So, interesting choice here. Obviously, delays the lieutenant, and thus also the Stuart light tank, which is why most American players don't do this, because they'd rather just push out a very fast Stuart light tank. Believe it or not. Take there for on VonAsten, meanwhile, so 3 Grenadiers sniper build here. Not quite your average Wehrmacht build. It does have hits of that with the 3 Grenadiers, but the sniper inside the MD-42 is definitely a bit beyond the usual. Note, by the way, that VonAsten has not grabbed the southern field point, so while he does have a bit of resource lead, it's not quite as big as it could be here versus Angreifen in the early game. Sniping in there, 1 kill so far there. Heading northwards with the rifleman. He's going for a slightly deeper path here to avoid any German scrutiny, and of course, crucially, German guns. Then he's got here on the northern field point, taking care of from the M1 Garands there, semi-automatic rifle that absolutely rips through the Grenadiers, leaving only 1 man alive. The rest of the Grenadiers just got absolutely demolished. Grabbing on the field here, sandbags down here, making use of the rifleman defensive structures perk here of the commander. Then he's found the rifleman here, up north, pushing ahead. He looks like he's going to try and threaten the flank of the sniper. That way convincing VonAsten to just pull back the sniper in the first place. Even if he doesn't necessarily go after the sniper, the threat of it still forces VonAsten there, of course, if he's a sensible player, to, like, you know, at least consider moving back. The sniper rifle squad push back here. Southern fuel secured at least here for Angreifen. So that's working out for him. Meanwhile, they got VonAsten there with the light mechanized company. Most likely a 2-2. He could surprise us with a 251 half-track here, but we'll have to see there. It does tend to be very much heavy, so standard metagame there with the 2-2 out as pretty much one of your first units. But because a 2-2 is just a very good tool, and if not dealt with, can really cause problems. Goodness for the MD-42 on the way there. Rifle squad charging the Grenadiers here up close again. The riflemen do enjoy a significant DPS advantage over the Grenadiers due to the M1 Garand's firepower that they can unleash upon the Grenadiers. They go pushed back. Up north here, fresh push here by Angreifen, volley fire against the Grenadiers, but it's not exactly looking great for the reactions, and they will have to fall back here. Angreifen with the lieutenant out, pushing up to by way 5 squads of infantry, which is also quite rare. But certainly allows Angreifen to over push for a more aggressive game, and certainly arguably risks punishing VonAsten here for not getting an MD42 in the early game. I mean, sure, the sniper can bleed it, but the sniper at the same time can't really, hold, full, platoon level advance here from Angreifen with, again, so many riflemen plus the lieutenants, even here threatening to lay down mines on the retreat path here of VonAsten, further, threatening wipes that way. So, very aggressive American build here from Angreifen, very aggressive. Meanwhile, we got the mechanized command post going up, likely going to be Stuart light tank infantry once the 2-2 hits, because the Stuart is quite good at countering the 2-2 armored car. Of course, Angreifen could surprise us with something else, like, I'm not so sure what he could surprise us with there. Maybe a half-track filled with bazookas, aka the Twisted Tootsie approach to solving problems. Which is also why Twisted Tootsie is not allowed on public transport in the United States of America. Up north, the Rascot moving in. They've got the northern field security. Rascot will have to fall back, but still, in a matter of moments, just without sheer infantry push here, Angreifen has been able to gain map control against VonAsten, again highlighting, the power of having a lot of infantry. Of course, that does come with risks depending on how your opponent then counters it. But I imagine... Oh, and a mine there wipes out one of VonAsten's Grenadier squads here. A huge blow. Again, especially versus an opponent with a total of 5 menacingly equipped infantry squads. Developed infantry squads. They're not quite equipped yet with anything except the M1 Garand, and of course, a belief in patriotism? I don't know. Anyways, anti-tank rifle against the 2-2 here, further clipping the wings here for VonAsten. Snap their course force retreat. We do get a Pack 40. Obviously, VonAsten is under no illusions as to what's going to happen next, which is the Stuart light tank, so thumbs up to VonAsten. That said, his position remains quite uncomfortable. The disparity in infantry there is rather significant. And the addition of the Stuart light tank certainly won't make things easier. Plus, of course, the threat of mines here further risks slowing down VonAsten's ability to make swift comebacks and pushes, because again, hit the mine at the wrong time, and VonAsten could really, be in a very bad place. So, snumbling about here, we got 10 kills. Pack 40 right there for VonAsten. Stuart light tank right about here for Angreifen. Ralph Scott Lieutenant pushing in against the cut-off point there. VonAsten sniper got Veterans 1, 11 kills for Deutschland. Gonna use South at Sea, and there we go. M5 1 Stuart light tank out here for Angreifen, Freedom and Democracy. Bazooka on the lieutenant here to further add to the anti-vehicle firepower that Angreifen can muster against VonAsten. Some more infantry, I think, would be a good priority for VonAsten, plus machine guns. We shall see what he actually goes for here, of course. I would certainly recommend some Panzergrenadier, but honestly, at this point, anything is good. You could also go for Jaeger infantry, go for the Jaeger command squad. That could actually be a pretty good sort of unit to push back with. 5-man squad with 3 T-43s could provide VonAsten with some more serious infantry oomph here against Angreifen. Ambulance there for Angreifen, Freedom, Democracy, Armored Car, again in the 2-2. And of course, the threat of the Pack 40 here does force Angreifen to be more cautious with his light tank. Almost got the sun on the field point there for Deutschland and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. North here point being seized with Rifle Squad. And we do get an MD-42 here for VonAsten. Kind of commandant as of yet. And back here the ambulance is almost done. For Angreifen. Go, ambulance out. Did he go for... Yep, he did go for weapon racks here. Had to check it was weapon racks and not say grenades. Plus gonna use it for VonAsten. Thumbs up. Sniper sitting up here, partly acting as a spotter for the Pack 40 as well. And I imagine also just as an early trip while, to sort of spot hit in case, Angreifen makes another large push. VonAsten, of course, wants to, at least have some kind of early warning to, set up his gun lines better to, well, cut it down. You got BARs being handed to the rifleman, possibly also the lieutenant here as well, except he can't afford it quite yet in munitions. There we go. Ralph's caught there, number 2 gets it. So that way, Angreifen, of course, further developing his lead with, again, a lot of infantry by getting a lot of BARs. The good old all-American, all-in strategy there. Except most players never bother with it. Anyways, Stuart engaging the Grenadiers here with its 37mm gun. South here, point exists going to use as well here, but wanasten has spotted himself a bit of a previous snub. They're almost taken out here by a massive throng of charging Americans here. Narrowly surviving. The MD-42 also has to fall back. It simply cannot set up in time to stop this all-American assault here from Angreifen. The sheer number of bullets he can just unleash against any German there is overwhelming. And wanasten, of course, by far makes the right choice in just getting the hell out of there. Any attempt to sort of hold his ground there at that point would have just resulted in a needless loss of manpower here against the Americans. So, yeah, thumbs up there to wanasten in a sense for, making the best out of a bad situation, which in this case just trying to preserve as many men as possible. Angreifen, of course, quick to fortify here with sandbags, with mines. Thumbs up there again. Of course, looking to leverage his advantage, which in part is, oh yeah, I got a lot of infantry, and I can make use of this to further make it hard for my opponent to attack. Thumbs up there. Armored car sniper machine going for the north here. Still no commander for wanasten at this point. I'm guessing it is not Jaeger infantry. Could be Lightning War. Could be Blitzkrieg. We shall, of course, have to see what wanasten dreams up here versus Angreifen, as he remains under furious pressure here from Angreifen. Armored car that hits the mine. And we got the Stuart flanking in here. Of course, can't get too close. And actually still gets too close there. Gets Pantherfausted. Suffers a damaged engine. Good shot from the Pack 40. Almost losing the Stuart light tank. Yep, goes down here. Is a small yet still crucial tactical win here for wanasten. Removing that Stuart light tank means his armored car can pressure Angreifen's infantry more freely, and that means wanasten has a bit better chance of getting map control. He is going for a Pack 40 though. He is obviously very concerned about the possibility of fast armor here from Angreifen, possibly even another Stuart light tank. Of course, most players won't do that, but at the same time, with the kind of lead Angreifen has, he could probably toss in another Stuart light tank here versus wanasten and perhaps not get punished too harshly. So sniper there again, getting wiped this time. Really good flank of Angreifen, taking advantage of all the kills in the south, then sneaking in for the north and get behind here. 2 thumbs up to Angreifen. Again, leveraging the sheer numbers of infantry he has to attack from a larger frontage here, which is typically how you really want to make use of when you've got a lot of infantry. Most players just create, death ball and just, keep running at the opponent. But Angreifen used to, tie up wanasten's defenders along the south in a sense there, and then sneaking up guys up north there, so then pop the sniper dead. So, thumbs up there to Angreifen, certainly highlighting the power of why having a lot of infantry can be powerful in the right hands. Of course, again, if you're not careful, you bleed out immensely. It's obviously not something you should not just, pop yourself into if you're not ready for it. But still, 5 squads is sort of, say, the maximum recommendable number of squads, unless you're really good with infantry. If you're really good, you can make 6 squads work, but it's definitely a tough one. It's not a goal I think I'd recommend most players. I think for most I'd recommend, starting up with 4, then maybe getting to 5, and then you're feeling really plucky, you could maybe try at 6. But again, really not gonna want to try it. wanasten, of course, starting to realize the severity of the American infestation here. Brings in another machine gun here. The German cure to anything American, the MG42. Also works against Bolsheviks and the occasional Italian. Ralph squad setting out here. Picks up the armored car here. Gunny's MG4 setting out. Nothing further going on there for Angreifen. Armored car pushing up here. 222. Slowly approaching the T2. wanasten, I imagine, is taking up here. Of course, Angreifen as well here. Both players are, of course, in an armor race. One which I would say Angreifen so far is fairly favoured. Though, again, wanasten, I think, is doing a fairly good job in slowing down there. And he's showing that Angreifen doesn't get too big of a lead. But still, he's going to be able to push out a tank here ahead of wanasten. The 2 machine guns will help slow down some of Angreifen's attacks here, make it a bit harder, and could force Angreifen to consider, mortars. He did actually build 1, but cancelled it. Could also consider maybe half tracks or something like that. Probably won't, but there's another option there. We shall, of course, have to see how this exactly develops, but this is a quite intense and fierce match here so far. And wanasten, I think, is handling things quite well because he's had a really rough start. Then Angreifen, again, is playing a fairly unorthodox American game, which, again, is at the same time also very aggressive. So, one mistake there from wanasten, just, one wrong tilt. And, Angreifen could quickly just, buried wanasten in a pine, box there and just, shipped him off to Berlin. So, really some top-notch play, I'd say, from both sides. Top-notch play. Machine gun setting up here. Still no commander though for VonAsten. I imagine he's still like, you know, probably trying to figure out what he wants to do here versus Angreifen. Like he's under so much pressure that, you know, he can't really afford to like, or probably feels like he can't afford to think ahead there that much. Like to commander perhaps it just isn't relevant to him. A lot of possibilities here, of course. Northern fuel being claimed here by VonAsten's going to be if, you know, Otto could just properly step in on the point there, apparently. Until then, though, of course, Angreifen's getting almost twice as much fuel than VonAsten per minute, which is obviously not ideal if you're the Germans. If you're the Americans, that's obviously business as usual. Sniper again for VonAsten. Wait, how many snipers? Okay, he's only lost one sniper, just cancelled it. Just like had to check there. He clearly believes in the sniper here against the Americans. He wants, like, you know, play that attritional game here versus Angreifen. But again, the very aggressive tactics of Angreifen, the way he employs them, kind of makes the attritional, you know, strategy much tougher. But again, 2 machine guns could help keep Angreifen's infantry a bit more at arm's length, allowing the sniper then to, say, you know, keep poking at Angreifen's eyes. 5th cal on the way there for Angreifen to help deal with the German infantry. Not a bad idea, though. I would probably recommend a mortar more than a 50 cal here to help deal with all these machine guns. Of course, put more pressure on VonAsten that way. We also got 270 versus 184. I mean, Angreifen so far just remains immensely in the lead here versus VonAsten. I also say, crucially, he's, like, despite all of this infantry, he's actually, like, able to maintain, like, as I say, fairly decent manpower reserve because, again, as I've mentioned, he is a fairly intelligent infantry attacker. Like, the less astute infantry just blob up, keep bleeding out, and, you know, just die out that way. But Angreifen is, you know, very good at, like, just attacking from different angles, not just in that sense relying on brute force in the more raw manner, but wielding it sophistically. You know, like a butcher, knowing exactly where to hit with maximum force, in a sense. So anyways, Sherman away to Angreifen, the EC8. 5th cal that's going to spawn northern victory point. Send us here for the Grenadiers. VonAsten is getting the support Cup there, guessing a Panzer IV from him, though it will be disadvantaged versus the Sherman EC8, which has more health, more armor, and more penetration than the Panzer IV. Plus can self-repair and deploy smoke. And it only costs like a fraction more than the Panzer IV to boot. In fact, it costs the same as a Panzer IV Model J, while also outperforming the Panzer IV Model J. So, heading north to the Raft Court there, Gunnies filling up. There we go, Sherman EC out there. The EC8 came from that little designation there, the E8, which is basically just a reference to, I believe, its improved suspension, amongst other things. So, got here the tank commander out there, the Brad Pitt upgrade for improved performance. But now VonAsten again is start again. He's fortified the southern front line here, making hard there for Angreifen just poke in, making use of the buildings and such, and he's laying down mines. VonAsten, of course, is aware that with the way the Angreifen attacks, like, you know, doesn't prepare sufficiently, Angreifen could basically just blitz all over him again. Panzer IV is on the way here. Again, no, of course, the Angreifen has figured out if he attacks head on like this is going to end up poorly, so he launches a northern assault here against the northern, well, anchor there, I suppose, of VonAsten's lines. Shoulder, there we go. But anyways, in the south here, machine gun push back. Lieutenant also tried to push for the south, but in this case, again, VonAsten is more prepared. Machine guns are covering the flanks against such eventualities, and the Sherman push in the center just didn't have support, and crucially again, Angreifen just didn't get any mortars. Like mortars, some smoke, also from the Sherman. I think he'd have a good chance of pushing through here for VonAsten. But even then, of course, VonAsten can't rest easily, even with this kind of defense, because if he does, Angreifen will find the gap, or make one, and then, of course, he will start punishing VonAsten again. Panzer IV, they're arriving here for Deutschland. We got the center pieces of the three echelons. Again, forced to slightly and pull more up there. The center slightly becomes open, and Angreifen wedges in forces there rapidly for freedom and democracy. Grenades as well. He just further looking to, like, you know, again, exploit any gaps here. The grenades can be a great tool for that. Thumbs up there to Angreifen. And of course, only potential more woe and misery here for VonAsten. I mean, he's really, like, just leveraging his infantry as hard as possible in a way that is quite impressive. Rifle Squad 2 Kemp's going to lead by the carve point. Lieutenant wing up here, Panther 4 unleashing heli upon the retreating Americans. Still no commandant here for VonAsten. Enforcing healing, Sherman being fixed up. Sniper they're holding up, ready to try and bleed out any advancing Americans. 5 kills in the sniper. MD4 also looking to block off any assault here. VonAsten starting to look a lot more confident now here for Angreifen. And again, the lack of any mortar from Angreifen or similar artillery is starting to also make Angreifen more easy to manage for now. And VonAsten does not miss any time to advance in against Angreifen here. He is rapidly pushing ahead here, knowing that the faster he set up like fresh defense positions, the more he can frustrate Angreifen. There go Bazooka against the Panther 4, but the machine gun sniper here clearly forces Angreifen to reconsider where the anti-tank team should be. Machine here holding a fresh assault here. So, I mean, right now, Angreifen probably has like a couple of approaches here to take, and one of them, of course, is just to smoke the center and then rush it, except he's already like had suppressed troops retreat, so that's not going to quite work out there. Heading northwards there. But there you go, second wave there. VonAsten, of course, quick tree position, expecting that the smoke means an infantry assault here. Switching the tank northwards, backed up at the 50 cal. Troops heading southwards, though the machine gun there will require a bit more, well, resources to be flashed out there. VonAsten can soon go for another Panther 4 here. He could also go for Sturmgeschütz. Pack white, great kill there by Angreifen VonAsten. Of course, whether or not he can get his hands on it is another matter. And of course, he may just straight up destroy it, which would certainly hurt VonAsten. So what will he do here? We got Bazooka fire there, but right into the MB42 to get smoke screen here again. Can lay down smoke screens with your reactions when they get access to that. Lieutenant and Major can also. So there we go, the assault keeps up here. Rifle Squad almost wiped out. A huge blow lost there for Angreifen. Could see his first wipe. Yes. Rifle Squad wiped out. Almost lost the second one here. I think it was in the south they got. No, they didn't get wiped there. But they got wiped somewhere. Bazooka there is pummeling away there at the pack. Rifle Squad flanking in here. Further causing collapse here on VonAsten's north center point here. This defense of the center bar has been completely left open now. But there you go. Pack destroyed here. Angreifen falls back here, feeling, I suppose, reasonably satisfied with the damage inflicted on VonAsten. He's also been able to grab the northern field point there away from the Germans. VonAsten still without a commander though. 50 cal there needs to get out of there. Sherman in pursuit with the Panther 4. Good shot there. Panther 4 bounces off the Sherman's frontal armor. Close veterans 1 then the EC8. He'd of course fix up that Sherman rapidly. Another Panther 4 there for VonAsten. Angreifen meanwhile again due to VonAsten's successful pushes has not quite been able to go as fast for another tank. Meanwhile another Pack 40 there for VonAsten. So for now again, VonAsten is starting to bring down Angreifen. His situation looks more comfortable, but that is only for now. And VonAsten is going to cancel the second Panther 4 here and go for tier 4 with the second Pack 40 here. That is a very bold maneuver. And of course, Angreifen here realizes VonAsten's mistake here, and, switching hard north now and actually flanks around the south here. Small chance of getting the MD42 here, which if we grab, of course, be a huge tactical win there for Angreifen. Quite a blow there to VonAsten. Does look like fortune smiles a bit here. Do get a grenade attempt here, but not quite enough here. And the MD42 gunner survives, mostly traumatized and scarred, but alive. The rest of the crew, not so much. But again, switching hard south, grabbing the southern points here and setting up fresh line of defense there. Thumbs up to Angreifen. Tier 4 almost on there for VonAsten and the German army. EC8 good to go here. Rifle Squad 5th cal advance going in the center. Grabbing the southern points. You see it getting going again here. Panther 4 going to need support. Pack 40 being towards the center here. Of course, VonAsten looking to deny Angreifen the ability to advance. And there you go. Looking just further exploit here. Any potential gaps. Realizing enemies have got most of us here. This point is going to be exposed. Good read tactically by Angreifen. And works out almost like a charm here. That set the Rifle Squad here suffers heavy damage. He's clearly looking to maybe catch the sniper here. But doesn't quite pan out for him. But it was a nice attempt here by Angreifen nonetheless. In the center here, troops being mauled here by the 5th cal and the EC8 here. Pack the doing when it can. We got the armored car Panther 4 moving in here. Pack attacking from the north as well here. Man, some absolutely intense moments. There you go. EC8 getting 1-1. Vets into 1. Panther 4 dashing in here. 5th Cal needs to get out of there. Lieutenant rushing in here. Panther 4 suddenly in a bit of hot water here. Pack 40 could be mauled down here by the 5th Cal. But there you go. More infantry moving in. 5th Cal wiped. The absolute amount of management involved in these kind of attacks and defenses here between Angreifen and VonAsten. Like, phew. This is some absolutely top tier gameplay. Right before Christmas. So, troop reinforcing healing here for Angreifen. He can soon follow up another EC8, which would definitely be a larger problem there for VonAsten. He doesn't have the heavy Panzer Corps yet. He does have a Pioneer Squad now, though, with the BAR. Look at what I picked up, Otto. Ah! It's American. Yeah, I thought it was a chocolate bar. But it's a bit bigger when it shoots. Well, that's almost as good. Need to, of course, fix up the EC8 with that set. Angreifen clearly did overextend here and leaves them actually now unable to defend the center south. Of course, he's looking to explore north. They'll run straight into the infantry 2 here. Could pop some smoke, perhaps. But he needs to do that soon. We also got the captain now here of Angreifen. Interesting. He pops a decoy artillery barrage here, hoping that VonAsten with all this going on there, yes, takes the bait, perhaps retreats. Route Squad going for it again. He trying to catch the packs, maybe the sniper. VonAsten, though, is starting to catch on here to Angreifen's maneuver there. That's it. Angreifen overcommits. Does suffer, I think, some needless losses here against VonAsten. And the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision, 9th Panzergrenadier Company. Fix up the EC8 here. As for Angreifen's base, again, very close to that EC8 here. Number 2. Go. Can pop it out now. Start popping out. Could actually pop it out with a captain to supervise it. Could be a bit of a headache there for VonAsten. As again, with only 1 Panther 4, 2 packs, if Angreifen does a good push, the 2 EC8s could leave VonAsten in a very, very bad place. I'm not talking Baden-Baden after dark. Reinforcing healing here. Rushing in the EC8 towards the south here. Halfway to Regency 2. Grenades and EC8 find the enemy for 2. Heavy cover there proves to be the savior here for VonAsten's machining gewehr. Still no commander though for VonAsten. Kinda commandant. Starting to look a bit worrying there at this point, though. I would not be surprised to see lightning wall for the Tiger tank here. That could catch Angreifen a bit off guard. As he might be too caught up in things here to realise he could get hit by a Tiger tank. Of course, he may be thinking about Tiger tanks and even Panthers though, so hard to say here, of course, what exactly is being thought about there. Fresh counterattack up north here. Panzer 4 banked up with some Pioneers. Quickly flashes out Angreifen's northern forces as the center is once more heating up, and the south similarly is being lit up like a beacon in the night. But lit up by a bunch of drunkards who clearly had too much to drink and don't know much about fire safety. Grenadiers right here from the southern field point. Center there we got Grenadiers being rushed by the captain here. Quick deploy some smoke. Or maybe not. Heavy Panzer Corps going out there for VonAsten, so may just not be a Tiger tank after all, unless he thinks he needs the Heavy Panzer Corps for the Tiger tank, which you do not. You only need it for the Tiger Ace, but not for the Tiger 1. That is an ace, but just is a regular Tiger tank. Panzer 4 they're gaining, eventually 2 shots and added. Got the EC8 rushing northwards, halfway to Regency 2. Panzer 4 takes some nice hits from both Bazookas and the EC8 there. EC8 very close to Regency 2 here. And again, as soon as VonAsten's line is broken, Angreifen is quick to exploit it by just constantly hitting all the sides, all the flanks. He constantly runs around here VonAsten, making it harder then for VonAsten to then establish a French defensive line. So tactically, Angreifen is just keeping up very solid, but also I think fairly intensive, matchup here versus VonAsten. Really impressive. EC8 then very close to 52, and with the second one on the way there again, Angreifen will certainly look much more formidable, though I still think he should consider some kind of mortar or Packard at this point, maybe. I don't know if he's upgraded that one for the mechanized command post. Oh, this mechanized company command post. So I think that could be an idea for Angreifen to consider. Meanwhile, VonAsten's bring up the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5, to bring in something a bit on the heavier end of the scale here versus Angreifen's EC8s. Swimming up here with his bazooka. To with 13 kills for the machine populations there. Could deploy smoke, and there we go. Quick rough grenade here. Thumbs up. Panther 2/3 of the way done here for VonAsten. And the Panzerlehr, Panzerdivision. Lieutenant pushback running into them before to their ace level. Still no commander though for VonAsten. I mean, we are really starting to like get to hit the 30-minute mark, and typically want like but 20 minutes, so. Well, to doing northwards, that's going to run into the EC8 there and likely get knocked out here unless VonAsten gets very lucky, which, you know, is possible, but isn't. He does get it abandoned, but likely will be finished off the Angreifen in the south. The EC8 dealing with grenades by the southern field point. 2-2 kaput here in the face of the EC8. Brad Pitt scores another one for freedom. Well, his cousin, Bob Pitt. Captain run to the MD42 here. East level 10 kills, 11 kills. Captain needs to retreat here. Oh dear, that's going to be wiped then Angreifen. So much going on, and the captain gets lost in the heat of battle and eviscerated from the face of this earth. In the south here, Panther darting in here, going straight for the EC8 there. Brad Pitt hurriedly screams his crew to get him out of there. His contract doesn't cover being murdered by Germans, surprisingly enough. Bazooka fighting against the Panzer IV, pushing it back here. In the south here, Glennis got caught by the EC8 here, number 2. Bob Pitt moving up here to cover his cousin Brad Pitt. Need to fix up the EC8 rapidly. Lieutenant Major rushing forwards here. Panther being hauled back for repairs. 1 kill, close veteran to 1 here. Panther 4 there, halfway to the east level, roughly being fixed up by the Pioneers. Route 1 restrained to them before 2 here. No support against the machine gun. Does force Angreifen pull them back. We got 168 versus 260. Angreifen still maintains the lead here against VonAsten, but it's certainly a lot less strong than they used to be. We're following up with the Scott here for Angreifen, some self-propelled artillery. The Scott is quite popular, unsurprisingly, as it is quite good. And of course provides plenty of utility for the ability to both barrage and deploy smoke, so it's hardly surprising that it is popular. And forming ahead here in the south, EC8 moving forwards. Bob Pitt strikes once more for freedom and democracy as Brad is still shouting on the vehicle crew to fix his goddamn tank. Straight into the base here, a bold move by VonAsten, and we finally got a commander choice. It is Blitzkrieg with a command tank, Panzer Tactician, tactical movement, Recon flight, and the Stuka close air support. South the EC8 blasting through the Grenadiers. Panther 4 down to half health here. Brad Pitt pulls back halfway to the east land himself. Lieutenant continues to hold the southern victory point here. We got 147, that's 260. Northern one being grabbed here though by VonAsten, quickly dispatching some plucky Grenadiers to seize that away there from the Amerikanen. Scott racing forwards here pretty aggressively. Is that intentional here? But yeah, it's a rally point. It's a rally point. Like, I don't think it makes sense to send Scott further ahead than his EZ8s in this situation. And I think Angreifen realizes where to send his little assault gun crew off too. Fixing up the ambulance. A rare sight in these times. Air reconnaissance from Angreifen, of course, looking to try and figure out where he might be able to like exploit another opening there in VonAsten's lines. VonAsten responds with a reconnaissance flight, looking to figure out where Angreifen might be amassing his own attack and then hit that maybe with a Stuka close air support. So things about to heat up. Panther moving forward here, going for the Scott there. E6 and getting the Panther here, and there we go, unleashing the Stuka close air support here. VonAsten calls in the Luftwaffe. A nice big Hollywood moment here as Brad Pitt's tank is struck by several 30-minute cannon strikes there from above. Panther striking out the EC8 there, knocked out. Brad Pitt whisked away by magical elves to a safe place. Lieutenant Olsen wiped out. EC8 there falling back. Major's about to get murdered out there. A brutal engagement there, which Angreifen does not come out unscathed. His infantry mauled his tanks on fire. His Scott de-scotted. And the East Panther for the gaining the ace of the Luftwaffe there, knocks out the other EC8 here. Scott also in some pretty deep bad stuff here. Still, Angreifen does have the victory point. He's still going versus VonAsten, but that was a absolutely awful engagement of Angreifen. Absolutely awful. I mean, his infantry is still largely intact, but most of his armored fleet is pretty much on fire. And his chances of becoming extra inferior too, of course, looks very bad. Sniper there with ace level, 25 kills here. Good kill here, 26 kills. Vehicle about to get murdered out. Ooh, managed to take an explosive opening here, catching VonAsten's M4 to crew there with a grenade and wiping it. And grabs over the opportunities again, still leveraging the fact he has more infantry than his opponent. Even at this point, it's only 4 squads versus 5. It still allows him to like find these opportunities and just bonk VonAsten right on the nose there. Up north, they're going to right about the 5th caliber again, and now with an MD42. VonAsten could find himself in some difficulties, though. He does crucially have a significant arm advantage. Angreifen here going for anti-tank guns, realizing, well, he no longer enjoys it, so bring up anti-tank guns is, of course, a very sensible choice in response to that. Still, re-establishing quarters, despite, having just suffered a major loss, the infantry allows him to still push back VonAsten, whose infantry complement isn't quite as durable or as numerous, and push through this. Again, thumbs up to Angreifen again. I think really just doing some good work showing just the power of infantry in the right hands. Mines down there as well, gun is counter-attacking here. And quickly route it. Fresh push hit off VonAsten. Machine gun, these Pioneer Sniper, armor almost good to go. There we go. Ace Panther falling in there. Pushing and give air there. There's the advancing Krauts in the center. Halting there, VonAsten's attempt to break through here. Panther 4 is driving in the rifleman, being absolutely demolished here as VonAsten unleashes his armored fist here upon the Americans. Bazooka fire there right through the sidearm of the Panzerkampfwagen, wiping there one of Angreifen's ace infantry squads here. Thus killing one of his strongest assets right now. That is a significant tactical and operational win at this point here for VonAsten. Significant. Still, there is the issue of victory points. VonAsten could still lose this despite everything. But the chance of him winning have also become significantly higher at the same time, so it's certainly a bit of a tenuous situation here for him. And there you go, charging ahead here. VonAsten knows it's going to come down to aggression, measured, but at the same time, he can't afford to just sit back either. Like, he needs to get those points. He needs to, like, hit Angreifen hard and keep him on the back foot. He needs to, like, make it difficult for Angreifen to, like, regroup and launch another devastating assault here. Because if Angreifen does do that, VonAsten will likely lose. So it's going to come down to just keeping on pressuring here Angreifen as much as possible and frustrating his attempts to, like, reorganize and establish, like, any kind of force. And there you go, another wipe here. Again, huge there for VonAsten at this point. Massive. Down to 62 versus 260. Angreifen fun bringing in more EC8s here versus VonAsten. Scott being paired up again. Southern big point falling to the Germans. Got a Panzerwehr for VonAsten. Sniper there bleeding out. Angreifen his own base and killing the MD42 crew. Popping out the medics briefly. Perhaps concerned he's going to get, like, sniper summers or attack summers. There he goes. We got the pack though. Set what's going to happen there. There you go. VonAsten again, just constantly pressuring here. Angreifen, no mercy. No downtime. And there you go, though. There's, of course, this risk of a counter-attack like this. Almost losing the pack 40s here to Angreifen, and he were to lose them. That could be a way for, like, Angreifen to swing us back into the game here and possibly just beat VonAsten into the dirt here. So it obviously doesn't come without risks. And he's almost wiped out here, though. Close call. You see it rolling out there for freedom and democracy. Scott good to go as well here. The crew there being absolutely demolished. Actually retreated and, well, I was about to say pop it into the Scott. In fact, I'm surprised he didn't do that ahead of time to get the Scott a bit more veterancy. Move into the EC8. But oh, wait, though. Panther 4 catching the ace Panther 4 here. EC8 going at it. Panther diving in, though. Close to Vector 2 here. Damaging the Panther 4 hits the mine. Casually down by Angreifen earlier. And he uses the EC8 here. Angreifen frantically, I think, trying to find a way out of the current net here that VonAsten has around him, but it is not quite going the way here that Angreifen's hoping for. Again, the, at this point, now critical lack of infantry is proven to be a significant issue. So now with 34 kills. Panther moving out, Panther forming in as well there, 47 kills. Machine gun caught in a pretty bad spot. VonAsten again looking to shut down that EC8 before it becomes a bigger problem. Damage in the Panther here. Could be a massive problem here for VonAsten loses it. Maybe not. Betty 2 again, the Panther shoots an at it. Bazooka fire there, punching through it. EC8 about to get knocked out here by the Ace Panther 4 here. Bazooka team there. Oh, absorbing the hits for the EC8. Unit swiped out. The machine crew is gone. Pioneers rushing in there. Angreifen repulsed there by VonAsten in bloody hand-to-hand combat. Up north here, another push for the northern victory point is frustrated here by Ungreifen's 50 cal, but there you go, Rifle Grenade almost got it. Another loss for Angreifen appears elsewhere. Situation here for the 5th Armored Division is starting to look really bad. And there you go, VonAsten here again just looking to kick Angreifen as much as he can while he's still down to ensure he doesn't get up. Fires a Panzer barrage into the base here. VonAsten is taking no chances. None whatsoever. Which is typically the correct approach. No chances taken, especially against a player like Angreifen. Like, if you're playing casual game with Grandmama, obviously, perhaps not the correct approach to take. But against a skilled player like Angreifen, on that, sure, kick him as much as you can or anyone else. Don't give them a chance to get back. South Econ is holding up here there, forming up a small barrier there. Obviously, there's a risk he's committing 2 of his grenadiers out of 3 grenadier squads to cover the southern half here. Like, theoretically, there could be some push here that Angreifen could make that could cost him those squads. That said, he's funding a lot of resources, so he could easily overcome that. So, gonna be a close one. We've got 61 versus 9. No smoke from the lieutenant, interesting enough. Second EC8 almost done there for Angreifen. Rat Pit back in action. Just need a fresh coat of makeup there. North Econ uses the 50 cal again. This time the Angreifen realizes he has to pull back a 50 cal EC8 right around the corner here for Angreifen. Freedom, democracy, liberty. There you go, EC8 number 2 ready there for Angreifen. Roger, Pit, they're arriving. Pulling it with the EC8 here. Angreifen going for the assault against VonAsten. Of course, there's the chance of another. There we go. Luftwaffe intervention here. The Panther bouncing one shot. Takes another. Pax flying away there. EC8 there. Taking heavy damage. Got smoke off, but it's not enough here. Panther 4 ace there. Finally goes down. The Luftwaffe strikes. One EC8 there. Takes the shots. But survives. Panther takes it out though. Lead Panther with Brad Pitt. Charges straight into a Telemine. He goes down in a blaze of glory. Again, whisked away by countless, personal assistants who die bravely to pull him out of the burning tank there. So many personal assistants died during this battle. And of course, they will never be remembered. Anyways, Scott there with only 2 kills. Veterans who won at this point. It kind of feels like it's over Angreifen. Like, he's replacing infantry losses now, but I think he just can't muster anything enough, There's VonAsten's bringing a Sturmpanzer. He's just further, again, kick Angreifen while he's down to, again, make sure he doesn't get back. Machine gun bunker up north, again, VonAsten taking no chances. Should also set up bunkers on us then by some of the other points, but then there's also up the building here. Fresh rifle out there for Angreifen. 61 was on the 46. Sturmpanzer ready here for VonAsten. Sniper there with 39 kills for Deutschland. Sturmpanzer sitting out. Rifle squad about to get it wiped out. Fifth car there going for northern point with the machine gun bunker and they're going to do squad here. Angreifen I think won't find much success here. Rifle squad about to get wiped out here. Yep, and there you go, GG here from Angreifen. Game over, victory for VonAsten. An absolutely hell of a match here with some excellent top-notch play for both sides. I'm going to think really showing what you can do with a lot of infantry and the skill to back it up there. Unfortunately, again, I think he should have gone for some mortars. I think at times they've given Angreifen just the amount of support they need to push through, or maybe a half check would have helped it. That way, they lack something there to really make their strategy fully cohesive. That combined with a few tactical missteps here and there, I think really cost Angreifen, but he was really close there. Like, had he not suffered some of those losses he did, he might have been much better positioned to actually still beat VonAsten. VonAsten, I think, also had a really rough start, but he kept his cool and slowly turning around, so that's some top-notch play this well with VonAsten. So overall, hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that jazz there. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.